Hello, this is Dave Travels Through Time, Channel 2, and I'm just waiting for PED here. There he is. Perfect timing. Just started, and there he is. Awesome.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry.
It's all good.
A few things behind the scenes that Dave and I know about. It's just, yeah. Let's just say I've sent them the links. I don't know if they'll be joining us or not, but we might have a couple of guests. We might not.
Yeah, it's okay if they do. They do. If they don't, they don't. It's all good.
Yeah. So, how you been then?
Pretty good. Can't complain too much. Just we've been working on. I know it's not Star Trek related, but me and TARDIS, we've been working on that audio thing I just sent you, and then
Yeah. It was quite good from what I heard of it. So.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Yeah.
I tried to add a bit of like Troughton and a little bit of Matt Smith and Tom Baker to my performance as well.
Yeah. Just as I said, I say this to a lot of people. Just try and work with panning if you can. Add a bit of a 3D edge to your sound. That's one of the most important things. It's all about picturing in your head where something's happening. So if you drop something off the desk to the left, you pan it to the left slightly.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a basic surround sound, really.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same. I mean, just scientifically. This is one of my big interests. This is why I'm a soundie.
Yeah.
My big interest is the things you can do just by panning slightly. I found out this in editing and post production. I got quite a high mark for my last assignment.
Yeah, you have to show me some of that. Yeah, I'd like to learn more about it.
Because I was really messing around. I was really messing around with the panning and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my things is I like surround sound. I actually got to experience Dolby Atmos before it was officially released.
Nice.
In Soho. So yeah, it was good. Cool. I thought the problem with Atmos is when you first. Sorry, it's getting technical now.
Yeah.
Going into tech. Problem with Atmos, I find, is the first 10-15 minutes you listen to it, you watch an Atmos film, it's very overpowering and a bit jarring. Yeah. But then suddenly your brain adapts to it and it's absolutely perfect. It's just plain sailing. I actually saw Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah.
I saw it in Atmos and Sony 4K.
Wow.
For the laser projectors. It was the best cinema experience of my life.
Nice.
It was better than D-Box. I saw The Hobbit in D-Box, and I saw Blade Runner in 4K with Dolby Atmos, and it was like just the best experience of my life. Best film. That's why everyone goes, it's not that great a sequel. Actually, I mean, it's always going to be the best sequel in the world to me because of the way I saw it.
Yeah, so Atmos is better than 5.1 or 7.1, huh?
Atmos, yes, it's literally you're using a processor to tell you to pinpoint where the sound would be coming from in real life.
Yeah.
So instead of your your front speakers and your side speakers or your back speakers trying to make it seem like it's coming from either the side of the room, what it's trying to actually do, it actually is above your. If a missile blows up above your head, kind of top left, kind of probably kind of. What's that say about 9, probably 10 o'clock, a missile explodes, kind of above, kind of almost directly above your head.
Yeah.
The sound will actually come from there.
Nice. Wow.
Instead of it coming from the kind of the side speakers.
That's incredible.
Speakers and the front left speaker. Try different intonations, trying to make it sound like it's coming from that. Yeah. So it's instead of being like kind of a 360-degree circle around you, it's also a 360-degree circle above you now. So you've got this kind of full dome of sound.
Yeah.
And the only thing they also do is they put more subwoofers in the cinema to make the whole cinema shake a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the subwoofers have been kind of upgraded as well. So yeah, it's good, but it's from what I find with Dolby Atmos, it takes about 15 minutes to get used to it. Your mind and your body has to kind of get used to it because it's wizardry.
Yeah.
It can be a bit overpowering. It can be a bit disorientating. The first time I saw a trailer. I don't remember what film. It was for a Pixar film, and it was like one of the first Dolby Atmos trailers.
Yeah.
Then I got to experience some of the overhead speakers from the home, and what they call the reflection speakers, which reflect off the ceiling.
Yeah.
And I have to actually say that the kind of really expensive units at Dolby they had,
the
overhead speakers weren't that good.
Yeah.
So if you won't buy your cheap kind of your Dolby decoder, your Dolby Atmos decoder, and the reflective speakers, as long as you've got a place to kind of box room, they're absolutely fine. They're probably better than the actual proper expensive kind of celebrities home cinema ones. So I think your kind of reflectors are much better.
Yeah, I wonder if when the Batman, because we're gonna see that. I wonder if that'll be an Atmos or not.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think Dolby did it in Atmos. It depends how they did it. I mean, DTS is just kind of like just basic kind of basic stereo surround, but Dolby is. I'll tell you what though. I'll tell you from experience. Sorry, this is turning into Dave Travels Through Time's tech radar at the moment.
Yeah.
But I find DTS is good if you're watching like a live event with a lot of music. I think their music decoder is a lot better.
Yeah, I could see that.
I just think their EQing for their musical stuff is so much better than Dolby's. But if you want to seriously get in kind of the immersive experience, go for Dolby. But if you're watching a concert on I'd say it's DTS.
Yeah.
That's just from my own findings.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I feel like Jurassic Park, for some reason, like I tried it on Dolby and then DTS. I don't know. For some reason, with the music, it sounded better with the DTS. I don't know why.
It is. I think the DTS are just more into. How do I put it? They're more into music.
Yeah.
It's just they're best for their EQing sounds better. I think the EQing algorithm they use is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. The algorithm is just so much better for the EQing.
Yeah.
So it just sounds a bit better, and I think they just get everything kind of. I think the balance is right because I think they're more into music. So if you're watching like a War of the Worlds or something, I'd probably watch it DTS. But I tried watching The Fifth Element in DTS.
Yeah.
And then I found it had a Dolby track. I thought, why the bloody hell did I bother watching that movie in DTS? And I watched it, but like the first kind of 20 minutes Dolby, and it sounded much better.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why on earth did I do that? Just wasted my time watching a great film in DTS when I could have watched it. The music was better, but I missed all the 5.1 surround sound and all the bullets flying across the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, as I said last week, the way I test 5.1 or 7.1 surround sound when I'm setting up someone else's sound system or testing at a university.
Yeah.
I will play the Battle of Sector 001 from Star Trek First Contact.
Yeah.
That is my go-to. It's like kind of like, people play about Pink Floyd when they're setting up sound systems.
Yeah.
That is my go-to test for 5 and 7.1 sound, because if you stand right in the middle of the room and play that, you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can hear those phasers going right over your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those sequences. You've got so many torpedoes and phasers flying in all different directions.
Well, speaking of which, I guess we can start this Voyager stream.
Yes, we can.
So, let's see. So, Caretaker was the first one.
Yeah. The USS Voyager has been lost 75,000 light years in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first Federation ship to be in the Delta Quadrant, but it didn't get there happily.
Yep. Yeah, like Matthew said, it's like a Lost in Space Star Trek, basically.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's a very good way of putting it. And also, the whole premise of Voyager in the end was supposed to turn into like Battlestar Galactica, and they were supposed to start leading the ragtag fleet home.
Yeah.
But they kind of cut it out, which I think is a bit of a shame around Series 5.
Yeah.
Instead of, that's why always the Federation or Klingon ship of the week they find, it always tends to get blown up at the end of the story arc.
Yeah.
Or ends up going back or forward to the right time period because, originally it was supposed to build up a fleet.
Yeah.
That's why in one of the episodes in series, I think Series 5, the one where 7 of 9 goes crazy and starts the conspiracy theory one.
Yeah.
They were supposed to find that Cardassian ship. Yeah. So there's a lot to the Voyager that was changed.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot. Yeah. It's like one of the big things is that it's Tom Locarno.
Yeah.
Tom Locarno is now Tom Paris.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's been changed there because there's two reasons for that. Is because they thought the official one was Tom Locarno, was the character of Tom Locarno thought was unredeemable. But
almost like a James Dean but unredeemable version.
Yeah, he was like completely unredeemable. But also because I didn't want to give credit to the writers of that episode.
Yeah.
So completely cut. They changed him to Tom Paris.
Yeah.
And said he was a full lieutenant, fully trained Federation lieutenant, and that he got people killed in a test flight, and then turned around and said the Ghost of Christmas Past went and, as he put it, made him feel a bit guilty, and he turned himself in.
Yep.
But it was supposed to be Tom Locarno. It was supposed to be it's supposed to be like kind of going to the episode Star Trek Exploration Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Originally.
Yeah.
Which had Sito Jaxia redeeming herself because she was part of Wesley Crusher's little flight team as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what character Tom Paris was.
Yeah, then we get to see Deep Space Nine for a little bit, don't we? For a couple minutes, don't we?
We get to see Quark and Deep Space Nine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quark is one of the only other characters that managed to cross over to X number of series.
Yeah.
I mean, he was at the end of it's in season 7 of The Next Generation, talking to Commander Riker on the view screen.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that was Tom Riker talking to him, not William Riker.
Yeah.
That scene where he's talking about the Duras sisters.
Yeah.
Because Quark cancels all the thing, and Tom Riker turns around and said, "Oh, Quark, I won so much on Quark's demo table, but I came to collect it, and they lost the key to the safe."
Yeah.
Quark cancelled all the vouchers in season 7, so you know there's something up.
Oh yeah.
Fire. That's how you tell. It's a little bit of a telling there. So yeah, that's you get to see Deep Space Nine and Quark and Harry Kim and Tom Paris. You see Tom Paris at the beginning as well when Janeway's picking him up. Good opening with the Marquee because that was kind of kicking off. It was carrying on the Marquee story from Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, and then Kate Mulgrew, she wasn't originally it was going to be another actress, I remember.
Oh, I know it was a French lady.
Genevieve something.
Genevieve, yeah. She didn't have much screen presence. I thought that was a problem.
Yeah.
You can actually see on YouTube. I mean, there's differences. I'll try and find it quickly. Sorry, bear with us.
No worries.
Janeway. Banging my old keyboard. Yes, it was Genevieve. Yes, Genevieve Bourgeois. I think she was. Canadian.
Yep.
She was French Canadian, I think.
Yeah.
Anyone watching this later, I will bung it in the chat so you know what we're talking about. We're not talking Chinese.
No.
It's a very unpopular thing to say at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's a chat. Here we go. And in the chat, that'll give you kind of just 280p. It'll give you a rough idea of what we're talking about. They had to reshoot all their scenes, but luckily they were like the first scenes they did.
Yeah.
I just found her a bit weak.
Yeah, something fell off. Yeah.
She didn't have that edge. I mean, I like Janeway in the first kind of few seasons.
Yeah.
I always say when Janeway cut her hair, she wasn't Janeway anymore.
Yeah.
And she lost her ponytail. That was kind of it. And she got the Karen haircut.
Yeah, she didn't have the bun thing going. Yeah.
I liked her bun.
Yeah, I know.
I liked Janeway's bun. It was nice. It kind of made her Janeway. It made Janeway. And then they couldn't cut her hair. She became Space Karen.
Yeah, it made her feel like less leadership almost. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like she felt like an explorer, and then she felt like an administrator.
Yeah.
Because Janeway's, this is the thing about Captain Janeway is you find out in the episode? Oh, was it Relativity? I think season 5. I hope that's the right episode. Yeah, I think it's the one about Captain Ransom coming back and doing some. I think it's Ransom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the other, or is it the other one? Oh, anyway, the character from season 3.
Yeah.
where they get futures past, comes back again. And you get to see a bit of Janeway as she took command of Voyager. You get to see a lovely shot of Utopia Planitia with Akira classes, Voyager, loads of.
The dry docks. Yeah,
that is a lovely shot.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of started liking about Voyager after Series 5, and afterwards they did start showing a bit more of Earth. And
yeah,
I thought you've got to show because the problem I found with Voyager kind of season 2 and 3, it distanced itself so far from Earth.
Yeah.
And the Federation, the only bit of Federation technology you see is aboard Voyager or a shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
It kind of distanced itself, and I thought that was kind of a shame. That's kind of what Deep Space Nine did until they got the Defiant.
True.
And then they kind of pulled it back from the edge of Deep Space Nine season 3 because they got the Defiant. And, every once in a while they'd take the Defiant out for a spin.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to see it inside of a Federation starship again, doing Federation stuff, not Bajoran stuff. Or could or picking up the pieces from the occupation.
Yeah,
and it kind of gave DS9 that kind of difference, but the same. And then they got back to Earth in season 4 and season 3.
Yeah,
so it was a bit like Next Generation. It was on a starship, but it didn't distance itself from where it came from.
Yeah,
the problem with Voyager is because they were stranded in the Delta Quadrant, they couldn't communicate until halfway through season 4. It became kind of stuck.
Yeah, there was no way there could be any Earth interaction at all.
Yeah. The only bits you saw of Earth is when they started using the Tom Paris's holodeck program, which you see in season 1.
Yeah, I like the holodeck program he used. That was kind of like a takeoff on like Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, the Chaudica one.
Oh yeah, season 4, Bride of Chaotica.
Yeah,
which was their version of Flash Gordon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Satan's robot, which was Ming's robot. Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right, it did have a bit of Flash Gordon in it as well. It was just complete cacophony.
Yeah.
So yeah. I didn't. It was interesting, but I just didn't like it. As like the whole episode called Bride of Chaotica, and it was like, oh god, what are you guys running out of ideas?
Right, it was all shot in black and white to have that B movie feel too.
It was interesting to do that, but I just it's like God, you could be doing so much. You could be having so many missions on different planets and all that.
Yeah.
And you've got this kind of Bride of Chaotica. And it's like, oh, you're just doing Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
It's like, or a bit of Buck Rogers mixed. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
It got too comical as well. I think that's
when
I started tuning out. When around every Star Trek Insurrection, I started tuning out of Voyager, sadly. I'm not the biggest fan. Oh, that's why we invited Noel on tonight. Because he's more of a fan of it than I am. I think he was still asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Voyager's his favorite. What's his second favorite? Do you know?
I don't know what his second favorite is. My favorite's Deep Space Nine. Always has been. Always will be, because it was more gritty.
Yeah.
It was more about kind of the Federation trying to pick up the pieces after a massive occupation of another country, or of another planet. Planet. I've got it on my mind at the moment. I think we all have, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, as occupation, just at the end of an occupation, the Federation were coming in, and the Bajorans thought that as just going back to Deep Space Nine quickly, that the Federation were just there to be the new occupier and the new oppressor. It turns out they weren't.
Yeah,
that's just generally Deep Space Nine. I'm not going to go into the Cisco stuff. We did that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going to talk about a few issues, but that's again for an Enterprise stream because that doesn't have to do with Voyager. But,
yeah. But yeah, it's a kind of, how do you put it? It's Voyager's. I think Voyager's problem was it was too distant, and it was trying to be next generation.
Yes,
it was trying to have that next generation ship of the week, and it's like after the problem I found is. Sorry, I'm going to be virtually slagging it off. I'm afraid to say this stream because just pointing out its kind of the flaws. I did enjoy it as a Star Trek, but I think I enjoyed Enterprise more than Voyager. Shock horror.
Yeah,
but the problem was it started trying to be next generation, and the whole Marquis, the whole tension between the Marquis kind of died down at the end of season 1. It's like, guys, you should still be tense.
Yeah, it's true. It did die down quick. Yeah.
Learning Curve was like the last episode we actually saw any kind of tension between the Marquis and the Federation until worst case scenario. And that was just a kind of a messed up holodeck program.
What do you think of the Torres and Paris relationship? What do you think of that?
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
I kind of thought it was interesting because it was like a mixed species.
Yeah.
Relationship with. Yeah, this is when we need. This is when we need Melina.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, I think isn't the woman that played. I can't remember what the race of the woman that played Balana was. Was she Latina? Wasn't she Latina?
Yeah.
Yes, she was Latina. Sorry.
Yeah.
She was slightly Latina. I always liked her. I always thought she played a good character. She also directed a few episodes of Enterprise.
Yeah.
I always liked Torres, but I just found her a bit too Klingon sometimes.
Yeah, you know what I didn't know? I always thought Chakotay was Native American, but he's actually a Mexican.
Yeah, he's actually Robert Trant's actually Mexican. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, that sort of look though that he could pass for almost Native American.
Yeah. But I think the biggest problem with Voyager is that not many people know this, but Rick Berman turned around and said that he wants to take the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
And so the problem I found with it is everyone was acting like Vulcans.
Yeah.
It was like everyone was trying to be less emotional and all that. And even when they told jokes, it was like, it's like granddad joke, carry on. It's like the problem if you take the emotion out of things, it just acts like, robots in space.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the poor thing about Voyager.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I liked it when the 7th season, because they kind of threw that the airlock.
Yeah.
Just went, yeah, it's just have a bit of fun, tell the odd joke, just get on with it.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun,
Yeah, I like the Doctor-centered episodes too. Those are always fun.
Robert Picardo's character, the Doctor, I think it's one of the best characters in it. He was my favorite, actually.
Yeah.
Because he was, originally he was like miserable for 2.5 seasons because he was trapped in sick bay and he could only go to the holodeck. Yeah. Then he finally got the terrible emitter and he was like, it was free.
Yeah.
It's just he reminded me of a bit of a geek, kind of a geeky young. The geek has just gone to university.
Yeah.
And constantly arguing with the jocks and stuff. That's what I loved about Picardo's character.
Yeah, and in real life, I didn't know, but him and Celeste McCoy formed a friendship, I found out.
Wow. Yeah, probably doing conventions together.
Yeah.
Probably con friends, yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying anything about the recent con, yeah.
No, yeah, we don't want to go there. No.
No bag coming out about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff with nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, but Robert Picardo still does. Was the last scene, and it wasn't an episode of The Orville.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been he was Woolsey in Stargate as well.
Yeah.
So he's been around. He still does. He does have the odd sci-fi thing. It's been a lot of these Asylum movies.
Yeah.
We don't talk about them because they're terrible.
Yeah.
Crapogeddon, as I call them. Yeah. Crapogeddon. Oh god, you could just watch one of those movies. I tell you what, if you ever want to know how not to do a film, go and watch an Asylum film on the Sci-Fi Channel. It will show you how not to make a film.
That sounds good, yeah.
The Citadel ones are a bit better quality, but Horror Channel over here in the UK keeps showing these horrible films. It's like, look, there's so many films you could be showing from Hammer Horror and all this, but you show these horrible Asylum kind of disaster movies.
Oh, there was a bad one, yeah. I think there was one that had the Babylon 5, the one who played Sheridan Boxleitner, and it was bad. It was really bad.
Oh, was that one about was it the Jurassic Hunters or what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah.
It's like, Bruce, what are you doing to yourself? Had Bruce Boxleitner and Gil Gerard in it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, you wanted Sheridan to have a fight with Buck Rogers. I just wanted... Who's the best Who's the best captain? Is it Buck Rogers or Captain Sheridan?
Yeah.
My money's on Sheridan.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. It's as I said, if you ever want to, want to lesson how not to make a film, go watch. Apart from Sharknado, which takes the piss out of itself.
Yeah, that one's fun. Yeah.
Which is funny. Go watch an Asylum. Go watch a few Asylum films. You'll be like, you'll be seeing stuff like suddenly they're supposed to be at sea, and then you look out the window and the ship's still docked in port. Stuff like that. Just look at the background. Look at some of the things in the background.
Listen to some bad one too. There was the Backstreet Boys did one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also listen to the dialogue because sometimes it's really clunky.
Yeah.
People just don't deliver it right. Like the actors they use are very kind of young actors.
Yeah.
Or inexperienced. They'll just deliver this really clunky dialogue, or just say something that's just not true, which is scientifically implausible. And it's like that's another thing. They start speaking what I call Voyager techno babble.
Yeah.
Which just comes from Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's just so funny. It's like that's not how it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So always keep your eye out for those films because they're if you've seen them a couple of times, don't bother watching them. But if you want to watch them once or twice, it's an eye opener. If you're studying media production, just watching a couple of silent films to see how not to make films.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on the Tuvix episode? That one's always kind of a controversial one for some people.
That was when I always said when Voyager was good. I mean,
yeah.
No one will say it's when Voyager was bad, but I liked that episode. That was a proper old school Star Trek kind of conundrum episode.
Yeah.
But the problem with Tuvix is, yes, it was a new life form, but it was like you were killing 2 crew members to make 1.
Yeah.
Technically. So I can understand why Kess wanted to want. I know it's selfish of Kess, but in the long run, you're killing 2 crew members to make 1. It's like 2 useful crew members. You got turned into 1 person. It's like it's not fair.
Yeah.
You've lost your security. You've still got your security chief, but you've also got.
But there's all these videos on YouTube. They're saying, "Oh, Picard wouldn't have done that. He would have done this measure of a man type thing, and he would have let Tuvix live type of thing."
Yeah, but they need to. Voyager's not in the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was the Alpha Quadrant, they weren't trapped in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And Neelix could contact his family, and Tuvix could contact his family and say, "Look, there's been a transporter accident," and then Tuvix makes his mind up.
Yeah.
That would have been fine, but you've got an alien race from the side of the Delta Quadrant and a Vulcan.
Yeah.
With family, it's a very complex situation.
Yeah.
That and they wanted to have their 2 main characters back in Star Trek tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just one of them things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a difficult situation there. And I think Janeway was kind of right because it's like it's the best of the it's a kind of it's the needs of the many versus needs of the few. If you know what I mean, or the one.
Yeah, and then they're like, and then people are like, "Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, maybe they'll retain some memory of that character anyway." So.
And it never did. Never mentioned it again.
No, they never did.
Problem with Voyager, it couldn't follow its own chronology.
Yeah, it's not very. What do they call it? Yeah, it's not very. Yeah, what do they call it? They don't. Yeah, they don't talk about stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of. That's what I found Voyager's biggest problem. Deep Space Nine, they would have turned around and said, "Yeah, that was when Tom Riker stole the Defiant kind of thing," or they'd mention a previous episode. They even mentioned First Contact in one episode.
Yeah, I mean, even Stargate would occasionally do that too, huh?
Yeah.
Like Voyager.
Yeah, it keeps the continuity of the show going, but Voyager somehow just The only time you ever saw continuity like that was when they did that sequel episode to The Caretaker. And it was never spoken of again.
Yeah, well, remember that woman that Jack O'Neill from Stargate he fell in love with, and they never mentioned her again?
Yeah, what Shara was on Alien Planet.
Yeah.
It's like apparently she died off screen.
Yeah.
That's it. She died off screen. That was it. They never mentioned Shara. And apparently the actress wasn't happy.
Yeah.
So she died. They just killed her off screen, and they just brought Skara in. The kid played Skara in instead.
Yeah.
It's like, and did everything with Skara, and said, "Oh, she died."
Yep.
You managed to save her from the gold, but she died afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know. It's when characters suddenly randomly disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as I said, I just thought Voyager was just trying to be Star Trek: The Next Generation in the Delta Quadrant, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because at least with Star Trek: Next Generation, they got pulled up at a Federation starbase, or they got back to Earth once or twice.
Yeah.
And Voyager, they didn't. They just, they were just constantly just stuck at the only thing they had was the holodecks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they had some weird holodeck episodes, like the Captain Proton one, the Irish Village one.
Oh, I remember that one. That one was strange. Yeah.
Yeah. They had 2 versions of Sandrines because they reused the set from from the Killing Game.
Yeah, I liked when Da Vinci would appear though. That was always interesting.
John, that's what I thought. I started liking Voyager more then, and then suddenly he appeared for like a season.
Yeah,
and they had the one where he was abducted and ended up using the what you may call it, the Doctor's portable holographic emitter.
Yeah,
and then that was it. You never saw Da Vinci again. It's like Janeway just changed her mind and went off to Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Like the last time you saw Da Vinci program being run, it was 7 of 9 sitting in the Da Vinci study.
Yeah.
Talking about humanity and stuff. And it was like, well, where's Leonardo gone? Where's John Rhys Davies?
Yeah, great actor, yeah.
Brilliant actor from Sliders and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine actually met him.
Nice.
A friend of mine met him when he was working on the Harry Potter tour, and he turned around and said, he started talking about the Wing Commander games to him. He goes, how do you... John turned around and looked at him and goes, how do you remember these things? I don't remember. I can't hardly remember doing that job.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, we all remember, because, it's just these legendary moments where these kind of characters do, like, Sliders and the Wing Commander games, and as Leonardo da Vinci that make these actors.
Yep.
In the eyes of the fans, that is. In the eyes of the fans, that's what makes the actors.
Yeah.
How many cool roles can you do like that? Yeah. But that's what I liked about Voyager. That's one of the big things I liked about Voyager.
Yeah.
But I think the problem with Voyager is what kind of also hurt Enterprise in the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I think they were a bit too sticking to canon.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let the show evolve, so it ended up just going until Manicotto walked in Star Trek Enterprise, which you'll talk about next week.
Yeah.
They kept going down this kind of just walking down this kind of thin corridor when they needed to put a few more doors and a few rooms in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, my other big problem with Voyager is the second they encountered the Borg, that was it.
Yeah.
Borg this, Borg that, Borg this, Borg that, Borg this. Oh, you just kind of ruined the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The species one was kind of interesting.
8472, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Species 8472 was good, but then you only saw them again once.
Yeah.
In the episode where they were building the on the holographic hologram, what do you call it? The holodeck space station.
Yeah.
Not the Herodian one, the species 8472. That is cloaked hologram space station.
Yeah.
That was a good episode because it got to see Chakotay doing some pretty interesting stuff, sneaking around this base. You got to see it. That's the last time you see a Type 1 phaser in Star Trek as well.
Yeah.
That's the last time you ever see one of those.
What do you think of the Kazon?
They were interesting, but after the beginning of season 3, they disappeared. You saw one Kazon in the background, and one when they got to the Delphic Expanse. I think it was the Necrid Expanse, the space station before the Necrid Expanse.
Yeah,
the one with Wilsiak, the other Talaxian. He was a drug dealer. Turns out it's a drug dealer. You only ever saw a kind of Kazon in the background, and you probably saw one in the background of something else in the future. And it's like they went from being the TARDIS time.
Hey, TARDIS time.
They went from being this kind of maleficent force to being just appearing every once in a while. Same with what's it? Not the Herosian.
Yeah.
Not the Herosian. What are they called again?
Oh, I forget now.
The Vidians. That's it. The Vidians. Same with the Vidians.
That's right.
They went from being this kind of maleficent presence to being like just turning up, just appearing. Oh hi, I'm in the background. Oh hi, I'm Vidian. How are you? See you later. And you find out in Think Tank that the Think Tank cured the Vidians anyway, so they're not evil.
Yeah.
Organ harvesting psychopaths now.
Yeah.
They're trying to slowly putting their civilization back together. Yeah. So that was a bit, how'd you put it? It was a bit weird.
You like the Year of Hell 2-parter?
Oh, that was probably one of the best episodes. That and Equinox. Part 1 and 2. Yeah. With that was it the dad from what you may call it, that 70s show.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy appears in everything. He's great. Can't
Yeah.
remember his name. But yeah, that was a good episode because you got to see an alternate. Yeah, you got to see an alternate take on what would happen, and it was good. It was just a brilliant idea of playing with alternate timelines and just tweaking timelines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very good idea. Brilliant idea for a show. Yeah, it was a good idea. Sorry, I'm getting stuck on words. I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm not very good at multitasking, being a man. Yeah, bear with me.
Yeah, that's one term I never even cared for, because I used to be bullied about a man up,
Oh, yes. It's a bit of a... What, Kurtwood Smith? That was what I was thinking of.
Kurtwood, yeah, he's good. He's a good actor.
Yeah, Kurtwood Smith. He's been tons of things.
Yeah, he's got that quirky look to him. You could pass for a Time Lord or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was it was such a good idea for a show, being able to, trying to tweak time.
Yeah.
Trying to tweak civilizations to make one civilization absolutely wonderful and everybody else fall apart and make it dominate. It's just a really good idea. That's what I liked. That's one of Voyager episodes I liked, and that's what I liked about it. That's what science fiction should be doing. It should be asking these questions.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about Year of Hell was you just saw Voyager falling apart.
Yeah.
It was a Brannon Braga and Joe Menosky episode. Joe Menosky worked on Discovery for season 1, and suddenly disappeared. We don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad writer though, Menosky.
No, he's good.
Yeah.
But it's like when they pen these episodes, and it's like it's some of the best episodes.
Yeah.
Some of the best episodes of Voyager.
Yeah.
It's just a good episode. It was like Equinox, when it what would happen with the kind of the Red Dwarf version of Voyager crew.
Yeah.
A smaller ship, a Nova class starship instead of a Intrepid class, smaller, half the size. Sent to look for Voyager and ended up lost as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one thing with Paris though. He kept getting he got demoted, didn't he?
Yes, it was 30 Days in the Brig.
Yeah, ouch. That was like...
He got to know. Chuvok got demoted as well if you weren't paying attention. It's hard to spot.
Yeah.
The alien race with the stories.
Yeah.
They're obsessed. They want stories. They give them the works of Shakespeare and all that because they're obsessed with stories. It's like currency to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got demoted. Chuvok got demoted from lieutenant commander to senior lieutenant after that, but it wasn't mentioned on screen. You only just saw him suddenly running around without lieutenant commander rank pins.
Yeah, see, that's an annoying thing.
And he didn't get it back until Year of Hell, I don't think.
Yeah, see, that's not... Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there was four episodes from season 1 were cut and put into season 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think from memory, it was the 37s, Twisted. I think it was Non Sequitur.
Yeah.
And I think it was Logium, which was the one where Kess and... They were originally... I mean, when I watched... I got them on the old CIC videos when I first got Voyager. And we had those as part of season 1. They were also shown on TV as part of season 1.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, everyone's like so obsessed with like a viewing order.
Yeah.
And the next time I saw Voyager on TV, I think it was on the Horror Channel, and they were back as part of season 2.
Yeah.
But there was, what was I saying? Sorry, I'm a bit of a funny mood tonight.
That's okay.
I keep losing my train of thought.
Yeah, I do that too sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like it terrible. This is why I can't do this professionally, because I'll just halfway through a sentence go, and just go quiet, dead air. Yeah, it's 4 episodes were moved. I don't know why. I think it was because they were worried. They wanted to shorten the season save budget, I think. So they just literally moved.
Yeah.
That's why season 2's got a full 26 episodes, which is kind of useful to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Kind of the norm for Star Trek. And season 1 only has 16 episodes.
That's right.
20.
Yeah.
The nice thing about it is because there was a bit of a problem with props on Voyager. There's a lovely story about the tricorder, why they changed the tricorder in Star Trek First Contact Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
It's because someone from Voyager was going to, I think it was Robert Beltran, was literally had to be stopped from slamming a tricorder into the floor.
Yeah.
Because the batteries in the original tricorders wouldn't last that long. I think they were made, I can't remember, they weren't made by HMS. I think they were made in-house by Michael Acuda and the props team.
Yeah.
But they turned around and said that these, the tricorders are just not lasting. Batteries keep going. You can't get the batteries out because they're built into the tricorders. There's no hatch on the back. And I think Robert Beltran was about to slam a tricorder into the ground. During a scene where the tricorder ran, suddenly just went dead.
Yeah.
He just went, fuck. Just about to slam it into the ground. They had to stop him. I think one of the other crew had casted to stop him and go, look, don't do that, Robert. And after that time, it's like, look, we need new tricorders.
Yeah.
So that's why in the episode Initiations, second episode of season 2, you'll suddenly see them running around with brand new Deep Space Nine, such as First Contact tricorders and phasers.
Yeah.
So, but the way they've done it is you'll see them in that episode, and they'll suddenly, for projections, allogram, and non sequitur.
Yeah.
I think so. I can't remember one of them. One of them is, I think it might be Twisted, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, it's 37 projections, allogram, and Twisted.
Okay.
But for the episode Non Sequitur and Initiations, which is episode 2 and episode 5, you'll see them suddenly running around with the brand new phasers. But in the 37s, projections, allogram, and Twisted, you'll see them running around with the old stuff. That's because they were from season 1.
Yeah.
And between the hiatus of season 1 and season 2, which was just before they started filming season 4 of Deep Space Nine and filming for Star Trek First Contact, they changed the tricorders and the phasers. Yeah. And the funny thing is, in Deep Space Nine, they don't use you never see the science tricorder. Sorry, the medical tricorder.
Yeah.
You always see a science tricorder with a medical scanner. You never see the medical tricorder. That's because Voyager got it.
Yeah.
It was Beverly Crusher's tricorder in Star Trek First Contact, but I think after Insurrection, I think Voyager inherited it.
Yeah.
They inherited a lot of stuff from First Contact. Deep Space Nine just got the odd kind of pickings.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because I had the Borg in First Contact. It was Borg heavy.
Yeah.
I gave out most of the stuff to Star Trek from Star Trek First Contact to Voyager, so it'd all tie in with Star Trek First Contact because Do
you feel like the Borg were a bit overused?
That was my problem with the Borg, and they're also made to look a bit kind of because of 7 of 9. They were made to look a bit dumbfounded and a bit useless, and a bit like a useless appendage after a while.
Yeah.
That's why in the episode, I can't remember, season 3, Macrocosm, you suddenly see Janeway running around with a brand new phaser rifle, which was never allocated to Star Trek USS Voyager.
Yeah.
That moment is when I lost it with Voyager after Q and a Grey.
Yeah.
Series 3, kind of like Macrocosm is when I lost it. It's like, how on earth can I get a brand new phaser rifle when they're not in contact with Earth? They've never been back to Earth, but now they're suddenly running around with First Contact phaser rifles.
Yeah.
Luckily, they kind of disappear after season 5, though, because they remake they get HMS Custom Creations to remake the old phaser rifles, but take that big lump of plastic in the way so the actors couldn't put their hands through it, and they look more like rifles. Which it's a strange thing, but I can show you pictures of it later. But they changed the rifles. Hey,
yeah.
Yeah, you remember Miss March? She's been going on about Dolby Sound and Star Trek Voyager.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Melina was supposed to be joining up, but I don't know where she is.
And then Noel's asleep, huh?
Noel's asleep. He's told me last night he's on weird sleeping times.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's just not. Bless him, he's not getting enough sleep. He's not getting sleep at the right time because of what's going on.
Yeah,
the life, the universe, and everything. I think he's stressed out about what's going on.
Yeah,
I think we're all stressed out about what's going on. I think the entire Western world is so.
Oh yeah, like one day I woke up and I had big dark circles. I never usually get those. I was like, wow, I must not have gotten much sleep.
Yeah, I know, but let's hope it pans out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Same here. That's all I'm gonna say.
But anyway, back to Voyager before we all end up talking about try to get your stream banned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I went off of Voyager. It was kind of halfway through season 3. They started just turning up with first contact props. It's like I don't mind seeing I didn't mind them bringing in the newer phasers and tricorders.
Yeah.
Because the way they moved those 4 episodes from season 1 to 2, it kind of looks like they're phasing out the old equipment and phasing in. So it looks like they left Space Dock.
Yeah.
With a load of new equipment, and it's only been a year. I think it's only been like 9 months between season 1 and 2. So, you can kind of, it's kind of like they're starting to open up the equipment lockers, and like when the ship was being built, they put a load of old equipment in.
Yeah.
And then, during when they're going for the losing tricorders and phasers by the ton during season 1 on the away missions, it looks like they're starting to cycle in the new ones.
Yeah.
But it's like the second we got to microcosm, as I like to call it. Janeway does a Lieutenant Ripley impression.
Yeah.
Called that entire episode. I call it Aliens. The Voyager does Aliens. Which is, it's kind of weird because species 8472 are more xenomorph than these are bacteria aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. When that happens, it's like she suddenly starts running around with the lightweight first contact phaser rifle. Like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to have them. You're not in touch with. You haven't been sent the replicator patterns from Starfleet. You've got the prototype compression phasers, not the actual not the actual production models.
Yeah.
You got the XM177E2s, not the bloody M4A1s. If Cam will understand that reference.
Yeah.
So they're running around. It's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
It's like, complete killed it for me. It was like the massive canonical violation.
Yeah, I think I remember that when I saw the rifle. Yeah, the phaser rifle. I was like, wait, they never had that before. How did they get that all of a sudden?
Yeah, that's not their phaser rifle. Their phaser rifles are the big bulky ones, like Super Soakers.
Yeah, so I can
Super
see
Soaker 1000s. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one turns up again in the worst case scenario, and then Scorpion Part 1. It's like, why have you got those phaser rifles? Mm-hmm. As I said, as of season 5, they disappear. You don't see them again. And one of the stupid things is in season 4. This is one of the biggest stupid points: is in Message in a Bottle, when the Federation crew beam on from the I think it said it was what is it? No, it was ambassador. I think it was not an ambassador class. It was a Nebula class, and a Kira class, and I think 2 Defiant classes. And I think when they beam on at the end of that episode, all the Starfleet officers have got Voyager phaser rifles. I'm like, oh my god, props got it wrong again.
Yeah,
it's like, why are they carrying prototypes when they should be carrying the proper field model? It's like, what? Yeah, that was the episode with Andy Dick in it as well. So, you know how Family Guy feels about Andy Dick.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Andy Dick is a new holographic. Is it the new EMH?
Oh gosh, that was
because as we saw in Deep Space Nine, Dr. Bashir didn't get the part in the end.
That would have been better.
Yeah, that would have been fun if it was actually Dr. Bashir.
Yeah.
That's an EMH. It would have been so fun.
Yeah.
But then again, I think they wanted an incompetent EMH.
Yeah.
And make the Doctor from Voyager look more competent. So
they
took Andy Dick and said he was a second EMH model. Bashir was not used in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got a cool episode in season 4. We got Killing Game, which was the originally it was supposed to be a 2-parter.
Yeah.
But then there was a rule passed. They want to mix them.
Yeah.
They want to show them as TV movies. It was UPN, I think. At the time said, we want to start making the 2-part episodes. We want to start making them feature length. And so the Killing Game and I think Dark Frontier were turned into from 2-parters to single episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, season 4 doesn't have your usual 2-part cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Which is what you'd normally get from a Voyage, from a Deep Space Nine or Voyager. You end up with just a single episode called Hope and Fear.
Yeah.
Which was about an alien disguising his ship as a Federation starship from the future.
That's right.
Which was a Dauntless. NX-01A.
That one, that was pretty interesting.
It's like, that was completely kind of screwed up by Enterprise being NX-01. It's like, what? It's like, come on, after Enterprise, it's like, come on, guys, alarm bells. The Voyager are the most thickest crew in the Delta Quadrant. They don't like Red Dwarf in the Delta Quadrant now.
Pretty much.
If a ship turns up calling itself NX-01-A, you know it's not a Federation starship from the future. It's probably a Federation starship from the past.
Yeah, from like the 22nd century or something.
Yeah, not from the 24th or 25th, as it was called.
Yeah.
So maybe everyone would be able to spot it was sus from day one. Yeah. So that didn't work very well.
No.
Didn't write itself. I was never very fond of season 4 of Voyager. I just thought it just kind of made too many errors.
Yeah.
Way too many errors.
Yeah, because 7 and 9, she came in season, was it not 3, right? 4, yeah.
4. Yeah. We just talk about season 4 now, Sadako.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is that Jennifer Lien, she technically got the boot. Robert Beltran was unhappy about it. Really unhappy.
Yeah.
And he literally he was literally being very vocal about Brennan Braga and saying, look, he's like, he could have done something with Jennifer Lien.
Yeah.
We could have recast her in like season 6 with someone a lot older.
Yeah.
Or something, and just kind of age make her up, and just not use her as much in the episodes. Still pay her the same salary, but just don't use her as much.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Just pay her a bit more for putting all that makeup on.
Yeah.
It's like they just decided to kill her, just get rid of her.
Yeah.
It's like, it was so sad. And there was a mistake in Year of Hell Part 1 because it was in a flashback episode in season 3, a really good episode. I think it was Displaced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't Displaced. I can't remember which episode it was. I'm trying to remember it.
Oh,
there it is. Before and after.
He thought season 4 was the strongest, Sadaka said.
Yeah. Before and after, we find out that it was Kes who found out the frequency of the Krenim torpedoes, and now it's 7 of 9.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe you just by getting rid of her, you've just created a continuity error in your own show.
Yeah.
It's like, it's more continuity errors than classic Doctor Who, mate.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, how many times has the Ring of Rassilon changed?
Yeah.
It's like Star Trek was known not for making these kind of continuity errors, and they weren't making these continuity errors. That's why I kind of started losing it with Star Trek Voyager.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had Message in a Bottle, which introduced the second episode, Hunters, introduced the Hirosian.
Yeah.
Who you only saw 5 times.
Yeah.
Like getting rid of the Kazon. Oh, we've left Kazon space now in season 3. Beginning of season 3. Not really seeing the Hirosian again, and suddenly bringing this new race that you only use about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
Like, here's a new bad guy for Star Trek Voyager. You only see him like 2 or 3 times.
Pretty much.
Same with Species 8472. I think after season 5, that's it. You never see him again.
No.
You hear about them, but you don't see them.
Yeah, I mean, the big one is just basically the Borg. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the episode. I can't remember which it was. Yeah. Oh, there was also something funny about season 4. I think it was. Season 4 is the one. Yeah, the end of the episode was there's a episode called Demon, which is what creates the alternate Voyager crew that you've seen again in season 5.
Yeah.
Which I thought was was another good element of Voyager.
Yeah.
Anyway, you see this again. See them again. There's some lines that what's his name? Paris and Ensign, what's his name again? Harry Kim.
Harry Kim.
Sorry,
That's right.
Harry Kim's name went from my head for some reason. Ensign Harry Kim say it's about being overweight.
Yeah.
They were put in because Garrett Wang and the guy that plays Tom Paris were hitting the craft table too hard during season 4. They were getting a bit stressed out in season 4, so they started eating too much.
Yeah.
And getting lazy, and they're getting so fat that I think the costumer, can't remember his name, he's in the end of every episode. Literally told the writers, and the writers put these lines in to make the actors feel guilty about eating too much.
Yeah.
And literally, Garrett Wang is like down the gym afterwards, and turned around and said, "Yeah, after that episode, I was down the gym." They recently said it on their podcast. I was down the gym almost every night after that. Robert Duncan McNeil. I was trying to say Robert Duncan McNeil.
Yep, Robert Duncan. Wang
got too overweight.
Yep.
Got too overweight. And that was
they had to lose. Yeah, they had to lose weight. Yeah,
they had to lose a load of weight because they were starting to get fat. And I can't remember his name. Is it Robert something, the costume designer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He got told just a second. I'm just looking it up. I know his name. It's on the.
Is it Blackman?
Yeah, that's it. Bob Blackman. That's it. Bob Blackman.
Yeah.
Literally was angry. Was so angry with them.
Yeah.
Because he had to keep making them brand new costumes every 5 minutes because they're just putting on too much weight. Trying to hide it. They had to actually wear. I think Robert Duncan McNeil had to wear a girdle for a while.
Oh, geez,
Garrett Wang had to go and hit the gym.
Yeah.
Because even Robert Duncan McNeil turned around and said, I got so lazy on season 4 and season 5 of Voyager.
Yeah.
He said, I'm normally quite active. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading your comments, Sadako.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading it too now. Yeah. Should have remained bad guys, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Herojum. It's like, yeah. They had that big redemption, I think, was it in season 7? It's season 4. They had a redemption. Yeah. They had another redemption with the holograms. I can't remember what season that was. That was season 6 or 7, was it? The hologram episode?
Yeah, I think so.
That was when Voyager started getting darker.
Yeah.
That's why I started liking it. I liked season 7 a lot. End of season 6, through 7, it got so dark.
Yeah.
You had stupid episodes like The Haunting of Deck 12. You just kept getting these really stupid episodes.
Oh, I didn't like the Haunting one. Yeah, that one was kind of...
Yeah. Like, was it Fairhaven and the Haunting of Deck? Yeah. You got really good episodes like Dragon's Teeth, which was about the Vardoir.
Yeah.
And like Equinox season episode 2, which was great. Yeah. And I think that one, was it Survival Instinct, where the one where 7 and 9 goes crazy and she starts having different personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alice, where Tom Paris falls in love with a shuttlecraft, which is based on what's it called, the John Carpenter film.
Yeah.
It was a version of that. It's John Carpenter film. I can't remember the name of it, but it's about a car.
Same, I forget. Yeah.
I can't remember. It's because of C. It's one of his first films. Christine, that's right. It's like it was 6th or 7th film. It was a version of Christine, but it was with a shuttlecraft instead of a car.
Yeah.
You got some, Got some good episodes, yeah. You got an episode called Riddles, which is very similar to a episode of Next Generation.
Yeah, and then Kate Mulgrew and Jerry Ryan, they didn't get along, did they?
Oh, they didn't. They did not get along. Apparently, Kate Mulgrew didn't go along with a lot of the crew.
Yeah.
She got a bit jumped up.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of people had. I mean, I think Robert Duncan McNeil got on with Robert Beltran quite well.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that Robert Beltran was misunderstood.
Yeah. Probably was.
Very misunderstood. But yeah, there was a lot of fighting in the crew.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to put more emotion into their acting, but they couldn't because because Bram Braga was like, "Oh no, we don't want people being emotional in Voyager, too emotional in Voyager." It's like, but they would be emotional in Voyager because they're lost in the Delta Quadrant.
Yeah, wasn't she kind of self-conscious because now Jerry Ryan was kind of like the sex symbol, essentially? Yeah.
Originally, it wasn't supposed to be Jerry Ryan. Originally, it was supposed to be a male actor.
Right.
And then they thought, we got too many males. We're going to have to put some females in. And
right.
We're going to be losing a female character soon. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
So then they wanted Claudia Christensen, and she came off season 4 of Babylon 5.
Yeah.
She was going to take over. Then they suddenly realized that she was too authoritative.
Yeah.
So they wanted someone a bit more toned down, a bit more pleasing to the eye. So they went with Jerry Ryan instead.
Yeah.
It was originally like Claudia Christensen, but then apparently got round Hollywood that she pissed off Joe Straczynski by walking out in season 5 of Babylon 5.
Yeah.
And appearing in the last episode.
Yeah.
And so you know what happens in Hollywood. We know what happens in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
If someone gets a bad name in Hollywood, that's it. They're the Antichrist. So she became the Antichrist for. Poor old Claudia Christensen became the Antichrist for a little while.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Jerry Ryan was cast in her place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Claudia was kind of using it to get more money from James Straczynski, but Joe wasn't biting.
Yeah.
And ended up having a massive fight. But she came back for the last episode of Babylon 5, so
yes, she did.
Patch things up. But there was a lot of weird episodes in season 5, like 1159, which was their Millennium episode.
Yeah.
You also in season 3 you had the 30th anniversary episode, which wasn't as good as Deep Space Nine one.
Oh, that was the one with Sulu, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Flashback, that was it.
Flashback, yeah.
Which they then killed off a character who was alive in the end of Star Trek 6. Country. Yeah, so I think that's another thing. Yeah, they went and killed off a character who was alive. You see in the end of Star Trek 6 is very much alive, but he's dead in this. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's another big continuity error right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to avoid.
Yeah. Lieutenant Valentine, who it even says in Wikipedia he's still alive in the end credits when Sulu is talking to Captain Kirk. He's dead in this. It's like, what? Is Tuvok remembering it wrong?
It's possible.
Yeah, that's the only kind of excuse that he thought, Valentine may have been knocked severely unconscious and he might have thought he was dead.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It was a weird episode. The problem with I found with Flashback was it was just the bad guy was some kind of brainworm.
No.
Psychic brainworm, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not physical worm as in kind of earworm.
Yeah.
Some kind of psychic brain memory.
No, it would have been cool if they would have brought back the ones from Conspiracy. That would have been interesting.
That would have been, yeah. They tried to bring them back in Star Trek Online.
Yeah.
Delta Rising.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting choice. I don't think it was a great choice, but it was an interesting choice. Apparently the Vardwar found them, and the Vardwar became like superhuman. Used to become superhuman. In Delta Rising. That's kind of the big thing about Delta Rising. It's also a cool level we get to walk around Voyager. There's also one we get to I think another one we get to run around a Galaxy class starship, which is fun. Yeah. Yeah, but then we had that. Where were we? Back onto season 4 though. Yeah. Season 5. I mean, I kind of thought it kind of burnt out in season 5 a bit. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
There were some good episodes. I didn't really like Extreme Risk, which was about, I understand Extreme Risk because when you get depressed, you do get a bit more risque.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a bit silly. It's like B'Elanna wouldn't really do that. She's more, she's sensible.
Yeah.
B'Elanna, even though she's hot-headed, she's sensible. Now she's being completely unsensible. It's like, what's the next thing you do? You go find her in sick bay and inject herself with crack.
Yeah.
Space crack. Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? It's like, it's like Series 5 had these just weird things.
Yeah.
It's like just characters suddenly, you thought were absolutely fine, but suddenly started to do weird things.
Yeah.
It's like, I think in season 4 as well, I think it was 30 Days in the Brig. Or was that in season 6? I can't remember.
Yeah.
So I think it was season 6. It was like characters just started doing weird stuff.
Did you like when they started getting contact of Earth then with Barkley and all that stuff?
That was when I started watching it again.
Yeah.
I started watching it, full on. Equinox, it was a kind of end of season 5, I started getting into it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone loves the episode Warhead, but I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
Distant Memory was a funny episode. That was the one where I think it was. I can't remember. Was it in the series 5 or 6? That was a good episode. I'm trying to remember where that was because that had the alternate Voyager and the Doctor was an android. And
that's right. Yeah.
The Doctor, they lost one of the processing nodes from Voyager, which had a backup copy of the Doctor's program in it. And yeah, they always whine and moan and bitch about losing the Doctor's program, but in that episode you find that there's a backup program.
Yeah.
Backup copy. It's like, yeah. I think, yeah, sorry, Latent Image, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Distant Memory. Latent Image. That was season 5. That was a good episode. You had like you had the warship Voyager and they were all evil.
Yeah.
And Janeway who enjoyed interrogating people, and Harry Kim got a bit pissed off at beating people every 5 minutes. It was like the Imperial version of Voyager. It was quite a fun episode.
Another continuity error that I've noticed too when I watched it was that there's the Borg Queen that they have towards the end of the series, which is the one from First Contact, but then they have the other actress.
Yeah, they had to change actor because I think Alice Krieger was busy.
Yeah.
So they changed her for another actor briefly. But Alice Krieger comes back in the last episode.
Yeah.
It's like that's a bit of a it's a bit of a continuity error, but they had to kind of do it because she was busy.
Well, and then some people were like, "Well, how do you know there can't be more than one Borg Queen?" Yeah. That's what somebody told me. Yeah,
that's an interesting one. Yeah, Susanna Thompson took over as Borg Queen because Alex Krieger was busy, but she came back for the last episode, Endgame. Yeah, she came back, and I had Barkley in there. But I did enjoy it as kind of like season 5, at the end of season 6, when I got in contact with Earth, and the end of season 5, beginning of season 6, when they Equinox showed up.
Yeah.
But like always, whenever they find an Earth ship, it always gets destroyed after a while.
Then, of course, we had that episode where the Kess goes insane. She comes back.
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was a good way of concluding it. Yeah. I can't remember what the name of that episode. Then we had the one with the rock in it, which is ridiculous. You got to see a Herosian again. You got the guy who plays General Martok playing a Herosian.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't all bad. Got J.G. Hexler playing Herosian and Jeffrey Combs, who played Wayne in Deep Space Nine, playing Penk.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all bad, but it wasn't the greatest episode. It was just a wrestling episode. That's what I didn't like in Voyager. When they pushed the envelope, they pushed it in the wrong direction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was like the episode Spirit Focus. Like, nobody cares about Fairhaven.
No.
You start getting these kind of silly episodes.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... You got like an episode like Good Shepherd, which was just kind of a rerun of Learning Curves. I was like, oh, we're doing Learning Curves again. But I think one of the episodes next week I'm going to talk about, I think mainly is there was an episode, I can't remember, it wasn't Night. There was an episode where they got lost in they're going for a nebula.
Yeah.
It's an episode where they're going for a nebula and they had to all go into suspension. They repeated that episode with one Enterprise, and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 Days was in season 5.
Yep.
Counterpoint was a good episode. That was about kind of like argument about World War and then World War II, smuggling refugee Jewish people out of occupied Germany.
That's a good one. Yeah,
that was a good episode. Because half the crew had to go into. I think you get to see Juliet Girotte in the background of that episode.
Yeah,
which is interesting. We played the Star Trek Voyager Elite Force game. You kind of get to see Jarrott in the background. There's a Betazoid crew that they turned around and said there was only one Betazoid aboard, but it wasn't. There was Jarrott as well. So that's a nice little hat nod to Star Trek Voyager Elite Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good episodes. Then you got Bride of Chaotica, which yeah. Gravity was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bliss, I think, was a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a bit of a Moby Dick episode.
Yeah.
Dark Frontier, as I said, was shown as one episode because, as I said before, UPN wanted 2-part specials. They wanted to show a special every, look at this, it's a special 2-hour long episode.
Yeah.
Try and pull more viewers in. Didn't really manage. The fight was an awful episode. Think Tank was a bit meh. Juggernaut was good at the Malon for the first time. It was just severely underused.
Yeah.
They were technically supposed to be Shell.
Yeah.
The Malon. About drilling for oil and making a mess in the process. Someone to Watch Over Me was good. That was about dating. And then we had 11:59, which was my dullest episode ever.
Yeah.
Relativity, which was that brilliant episode where we got to see the shipyards.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
And Equinox, where we got to see another Federation starship. And they were fighting with Voyager.
Yeah.
It was I've always said about Voyager, I mean, I liked it as a show generally. I liked the premise, but I just don't think the execution was very good.
Yeah, so if you had to rank it in terms of your favorites, where would this one be ranked, the show?
It's definitely above Star Trek Discovery and Picard.
Yeah. So maybe below Enterprise?
I think I prefer Enterprise.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just think Enterprise was a bit more dark and raunchy. I did not. I mean, I'll say next week. I absolutely hate season 3 of Enterprise.
Yeah, I don't like season 3 either. The Expanse.
It was like, oh yeah, it was just a massive analogy for 9/11. It was like, at the time, it was like, everyone was jumping on the 9/11 bandwagon. It was like, no, you don't want to be doing that, really.
Well, then it felt like, in a way, it was doing Voyager because they were stuck, right?
Yeah.
Stuck somewhere. So it felt like Voyager all over again.
Oh, yeah. Again, it felt like Voyager.
But in the past, because it's set before Voyager.
Yeah. I'm one of these people. This is why I'm kind of, I'm kind of with the fandom menace, as I call them. Even though I'm not fandom. I'm intellectual dark web, I count myself as. But I'm with the fandom menace because it's kind of like season 3 of Enterprise is kind of one of my examples I give.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing was a massive analogy for Star Trek doing 9/11. It was like we watch science fiction to get away from the real world.
Yeah.
We don't want to be reminded of this every 5 minutes. I mean, I can watch it now. I can find it a lot better now.
Right.
In kind of current times. But back then it was like, oh, it's just an analogy for 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Zindi.
Zindi being, being the Taliban, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they make friends with the Taliban. In the end, they find out it's like making friends with. It's like they made friends with Islam and found out the Taliban were the. It's cringe.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but apparently that was not down to that. We'll go into it a bit more next week. That was not down to Rick Berman and Brannon Braga. That was down to Leslie Moonves.
Oh yeah.
Who's the Michael Grade of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, Les Moonves. I wanted to be more exciting. We want to mix it. We wanted more like an analogy for 9/11 and all this. It was like, oh my god. Ugh. And so they ended up mixing like the whole Expanse bit, by exploring Expanse with like a 9/11 story.
Yeah, I feel like season 3 is probably the weakest, but we'll talk more about that next week.
Yeah. But yeah, kind of Voyager had the kind of same problems.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the episode where trying to find the episode at the moment where it's just there's an episode of Enterprise. It's always like a Xerox photocopy of this episode.
Yeah,
I can't remember. As I was saying, I think Series 6 was getting better.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. It was a bit like season 5 is what I think is the most tamest episode of season of Voyager. Season 5.
Oh yeah.
There's some silly ideas, but there's some really good ideas as well. But there was just an episode with a doctor. I'm trying for 7 or 9. It wasn't someone to watch over me, but it's like she had a whole episode. I think it might have been season 6.
Yeah.
There was this one episode. There was a fun episode, Virtuoso, as well. That was a fun episode with the opera singing doctor, and the doctor's ego just goes beyond.
Weren't there those little hints too that they were trying to make Chakotay in 7 of 9 kind of something too?
That is why I don't like Star Trek Picard.
Yeah.
Because we all know from the end of Voyager that Chakotay and 7 of 9 were a couple.
Yeah.
I quite liked that, personally, and they kind of ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had Ashes to Ashes was a good one as well, which was about someone coming back from the dead. Yeah. And they did Live Fast and Prosper was a fun episode. I think they putting too many kind of random episodes in.
Yeah.
Season 6, and it kind of, until you got to Lifeline, was a bit. Which was the end of season 6, they finally make contact with Earth again. Yeah. It was just a bit funny until season 7, I found. And season 7, because we had a new showrunner in season 7.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name, but I think the showrunner changed. So I try and find out the showrunner. I can't remember, but like season 7, there was a new showrunner because Brandon Braga went off to work on Enterprise.
Yeah.
And so it was a completely different showrunner. I'm trying to remember who it was though. I can't remember off the top of my head. Wikipedia used to tell you in a big lump of text, but now doesn't. But yeah, there was a new showrunner for Voyager. I think it might be Mike Sussman took over. Let's pop the main one. Oh no, it was Kenneth Biller took over. Kenneth Biller took over as showrunner for 1 season. And things kind of changed, kind of for the better.
Yeah, TARDIS time, he's just kind of getting into Star Trek. He says he likes Star Trek character Picard from Next Generation.
Yeah, he's a good character.
Yeah.
Picard's a good character, but the problem with the new Star Trek Picard, it kind of ruined him.
Yeah.
It just turned him into Joe Biden. I think that's the best way of describing Captain Picard in Star Trek Picard. It turned him into this kind of big kind of hero, diplomatic hero.
Yeah.
Kind of turning from Barack Obama into Joe Biden. It was just awful.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it. I can kind of describe him off the top of my head, but he's turned into this really great kind of, kind of almost like Hans Blix kind of character.
Yeah.
Into this kind of doddery old fool. It's like, that's not Picard.
No.
That's not Picard at all. It's going from this really strong kind of character. This guy could argue his way in a courtroom. To this doddery old guy who's going and apologizing for everything. Oh, sorry, I was a bit. Sorry, I didn't take the Romulans too seriously. Sorry. With 5 is like, what? And now 7 of 9 is a lesbian serial killer.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Star Trek Picard is like a show written by people who've never watched Star Trek.
Yeah.
Who only just skim through Wikipedia or Memory Alpha. It's like, literally, it's like, I do not know what season 2 is going to turn out when it's released in 3 days' time. But I'm just hearing in my head, I'm hearing what they're saying about the videos now.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
It's not good, yeah.
No, it's just going to be just a mess.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch Picard the next season.
I think I'm kind of sick of what I call a Kurtzman Trek.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, we'll tell you this now. I gave season 1 a chance of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
But it was such a convoluted mess. It was so all over the place. And it was, and 1 minute Vulcan's destroyed, now Vulcan's back, and it's like, what? It's like, why? How? It's like oh, it's a different universe and all this kind of thing. It's like One was the episode I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I think it's season 4 of Voyager. Series 4, they have an episode called One. We're going to a bit more next week. There's an episode called One. And it's literally in Enterprise there's an episode called Doctor's Orders, and it's literally almost like a photocopy, Xerox copy of this episode. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It was season 3 though, so it's probably a filler episode. But it's like, come on.
Oh, he's watching the original Star Trek. He's like, I'm on episode 2 now of Star Trek. Was weird having a different captain.
Yeah. Oh, episode 2. That is the one with, was it To Whom's Gods Destroy? That's a good episode.
Yeah.
It's one of those. Yeah. I'll tell you what. When you've done watching this, literally, when you've done watching this TARDIS time, go and look up. Was it Star Trek? Was it the one that Vic Mignogna did?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek Continues. There's a continuation episode. If you want to have Vic, you just got to picture Vic Mignogna as William Shatner. But literally, go watch it. They've done a continuation. I didn't like what they did with the Defiant in the Folian Web. I thought it was a bit silly, but it was a good. But there's some good episodes, and there's a few. I've taken him out TARDIS time. But yes, go and watch Star Trek Continues. I might try and find you the web link quickly. If it's still up. Yes, it is literally almost a continuation. Some of the stuff I enjoyed, some I found a bit far-fetched. First episode is literally a continuation of the episode you're just about to watch. There you go. It's in a private chat. So it's in the main chat. But yeah, there's that. Yeah, I mean, season 2 is good. But the problem I found with series 2 of the original series was it kept getting to Prime Directive stories every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You have the Tyrese people, which was the Vietnam analogy. Then you have the World War II analogy. Then you have bread and circuses. Then you have Piece of the Action. It's like someone's trying to do like a very serious version of Piece of the Action and a funny version, if you know what I mean. And it's like they're almost, how do you put it, kind of Xerox copies.
Yeah, then I kind of read this book, and it got old fast. It was called The Prime Directive. It was a novel.
Yeah. It was like they start doing a lot of Prime Directive episodes which are very similar to each other, and it's almost like the Federation's going around policing the Prime Directive. William Shatner's beef. Oh, yes, TARDIS time. There was a big beef between Shatner and most of the crew, actually. He just got above his station.
Yeah.
He got kind of, it's like, it's kind of like, what's his name? John Barrowman got a little bit like it in Doctor Who. Kind of thought the show was revolving around him. But, imagine, I'm not blaming John because he kind of got out of it. It wasn't so bad.
Right.
And kind of became thought it was a center of attention and all that, and it's just just everyone was getting set off, and it's like he started making production decisions as well. Bill Shatner was like making production decisions, like the firing of Grace Lee Whitney.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a breakdown, on set, but they all kind of pulled it together in the end.
Yeah,
I mean, Bill is very apologetic about it now.
Yeah.
But now, recently, George Takei has tried to attack Bill Shatner over going up in the rocket. About, you're destroying the environment. We're going up in a rocket.
That's ridiculous.
And Bill Shatner said, "No, I'm trying to aid scientific discovery.
Yeah.
We've got to start making commercial space travel because we've got to start getting out there.
Yeah.
And we have to escape. We have to escape the Earth to get out there. So you had, there's a massive hoo-ha. I sided with Bill Shatner this time.
Yeah, so I would say if I'm going to say Voyager, I'll rate it like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it had some very good ideas, Voyager.
Yeah.
But there's also another thing that people know, that Ronald D. Moore came over to Voyager from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and Brannon Braga got a bit, I think the word arsey about it. So there was a bit of a falling out between Brannon Braga and the funny thing is they both wrote Star Trek First Contact together. I think they both worked on Star Trek Insurrection together.
Yeah.
So there's this kind of period where Ronald D. Moore wanted to come and take it over.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons, and Brannon went off to and Rick Berman went off to work on Enterprise and future projects, like an Academy series, which was going to be the one after after Enterprise.
Yeah.
But anyway, there was this kind of friction between Brannon Braga and Ronald D. Moore. I think they're friends now.
Yeah.
There's this massive friction between those two, and it was kind of weird because Michael Piller was ill. Sadly he had cancer, and he had to kind of leave.
Yeah.
After 1996, he left after the first couple of seasons of Next Gen as well. Sorry, of Deep Space Nine as well, which kind of benefited Deep Space Nine in a way because it made it a little bit stronger. Because Ira and Ronald D. Moore. But Ronald D. Moore had this idea of trying to turn Voyager into sort of finding other Federation starships, like the Cardassian ship in the Voyager incident.
Yeah.
So they had this idea of trying to find other starships. Like the Equinox was going to join their fleet as well. The Klingon ship from one episode after Barge of the Dead, where they find the Klingons with a weird virus.
Yeah.
They were going to find them as well.
Yeah.
I usually leave at like
12:45. There was that. I can't remember the episode. It was so weird. I think it was Distant Origin. No, it's not it.
Yeah.
But there was this. It just kind of. The whole point is Ronald D. Moore wanted to kind of do Battlestar Galactica and have like about 5 or 6 other Federation starships following Voyager back to Earth.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's going to be there's going to be some clashes between the Federation crew and the Cardassian crew or the Klingon crew. Or the Equinox. The Equinox was going to be like a second ship.
Okay.
And I think Chakotay was going to get command of it. There's also another thing I should talk about before we go, that they're actually going to kill Janeway off as well.
They were, yeah.
Yeah. Work First Part 2, Janeway was supposed to stay on the planet. Originally, she was also supposed to be killed off in there. Our Janeway was supposed to be killed off by the Borg and sacrificed herself also to Univatrix Zero.
Yeah.
But they kept changing it because they wanted to see what happened if Chakotay took over. There was also a plan in Season 6. In Season 6, Voyager was going to get home and they was going to have a season in the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah.
And see how they'd get on Voyager reaccumulate into the Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah.
Also that. But like I said with Voyager, my big thing about it was, I always thought the end of Endgame was too short. There should have been another episode showing what happened.
Oh, I didn't like the ending. It was too quick, the fireworks, then that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then when you actually saw the ending, they cut it. There was supposed to be like a flashback to the very first episode, to the end of Caretaker.
Caretaker, yeah.
Where she's talking about it's a brave crew and I've got to get them home.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a flashback to that. But they cut it out.
Yeah, I thought the finale could have been better,
All you see at the end is Voyager getting escorted by 2 Defiant starships and a Kira class and I think a Nebula class ship. That's all you see.
I think if I were to rate finales, I would put it below DS9 and Next Gen. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I think all good things, and I think all good things and what you leave behind just literally blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember having tears in my eyes at the end of what you leave behind.
Yeah.
It was such an emotional ending.
Yeah.
And at the end of Next Gen, we knew from Next Gen because we got it a lot later because of watching it on BBC too. We knew Star Trek Generations was around the corner, so we knew it wasn't the end.
Yeah.
Star Trek Generations was the end. So, but yeah, there was it was a good idea, Voyager, but I just think it was badly executed.
Yeah.
It was a bit like Enterprise until season 3, and I think that's when Brannon Braga and Berman kind of realized we need newer showrunners. We need to move on.
Yeah, Manny Cotto helped that show.
Yeah, Manny Cotto was brilliant. Went from strength to strength under him. We'll talk more about that next week, though.
Yeah, so I guess that's it for Voyager. So I hope you guys enjoyed. So thanks TARDIS Time, thanks Sadako.
Thanks guys.
Thanks so much for being here. And thanks PD. All right, I'm gonna end the stream now. Take care everyone. Peace and bye for now. And we're gonna do that next week. Bye.